listeners, and welcome to yet another episode of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Okoye. Today is episode 96, and boy, do we have a very, very good episode for you in store as club football returned over the weekend. So there's quite a lot to get into. As you can see, first of all, before I get into all the Nigerian players, I'm wearing my Arsenal shirt because shout out to the Kings of North London. And to be honest, the Kings of London, to be honest. So shout out to my Arsenal. Very, 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 very exciting and, just strategic win yesterday over Tottenham Hotspur 1-0. They said we were depleted. They said we didn't have enough players. They said Odegaard was out. They said Rice was out. But guess what? Back-to-back wins at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a nice stadium, but they can't even win there. We've beaten them more times in their new stadium than they've even beaten us in the Emirates in our entire history of the Emirates Stadium. So anyway, North London is red. But apart from that, like I said, Nigerian players balled this weekend, man. I can't even lie to you, man. So it's episode 96, and we've got so much to talk about. Starting with the Premier League as usual with our best performing boys. Actually, I'm going to start with Aina. And that is in tribute of Nottingham Forest being the best performing team that has Nigerian footballers at the moment. Nottingham Forest are currently 7th in the Premier League. They've played 4 games. They've won 2 and they've drawn 2. And guess what? On Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff, they went to Anfield and beat Liverpool. I mean, talk about a reality check for onslaught, but just a wonderful performance from Nottingham Forest. And nobody who watched the game could say they didn't deserve to win that game. They were just brilliant from top to bottom. Goalkeeper, defenders, strikers, attackers. Aina in particular had a wonderful game. Locking up Luis Diaz, breaking through the lines, just being very efficient in both phases of play, both attacking and defensive. And if you put him in your fancy team, he would have gotten you 2 bonus points as well. So all in all, I'm glad that Aina praise. I've been seeing Aina praise all over the gaff today. So more of that, because if keen listeners of the podcast, I've said I think Aina is a top 10 Premier League starting fullback. So let his rep continue to rise, and hopefully we'll see where he ends up at the end of the season. But for now, Nottingham Forest are flying high. Nuno Espirito Santo has them playing really well, so hopefully they can continue that good form going forward. Next up for them, though, it doesn't get any easy. They play Brighton away, so that'll be one hell of a litmus test. I know Brighton drew with Ipswich at home, so it could be a tricky one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nottingham Forest won that game either, so watch out for that one. As for our Fulham boys in West London, Iwobi and Bassey both started yet again. At this point, they're guaranteed starts for Fulham, which is a positive. They drew 1-1 against West Ham. Raul Jimenez scored the first goal for Fulham. And frustratingly, they considered a last-minute goal from Danny Ings. So that one must have stung a little bit. But anyway, not the worst result in the world. They remain 12th in the league, and I'm hoping I could go see Fulham play sometime soon to watch our Super Eagles close up. But anyway, next up for them, they play Preston away tomorrow in the EFL Cup. And then in the Prem, they will be hosting Newcastle United on Saturday. So that'll be a tasty game. Especially because Newcastle have not been playing well, but they've been managing to lock out with results based on good individual quality, as you saw from Harvey Barnes on Sunday. So that should be a very, very good game. And I'll probably favor Fulham, but let's see how it goes. And both of our players will start. As for Leicester, they're 15th. They're not doing as badly as some of the experts predicted. Wilfred Ndidi started the game again and got 2 assists and a yellow card in Leicester's 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace. I mean, what can I say about Willy Bobo? Assist for Osimhen playing for Nigeria as well. I like this reincarnated Ndidi version. We know he was always a fantastic DM, but to see him be very effective as a box-to-box player and also contribute in the attacking phase of play for Leicester quite regularly. Last season, I think he got 8 goals and 6 assists or something ridiculous like that for Leicester in the Championship. But to see him continue that form and get assists in the Prem, pretty good assists as well. If you see his first assist for Jamie Vardy. Don't sleep on Ndidi, man. So I just wanted to call out Ndidi's very good performance. It was really, really good to see. And hopefully Leicester could get some wins on the board because they've been a bit unlucky with some of their draws. I mean, to be fair, this game, Conor Cody, I don't know what he's doing giving away a last-minute penalty. But really and truly, Leicester should have won this game. So hopefully, in the next game against Everton at home on Saturday, we'll see Leicester finally win. So look out for that one. And then did he continue the great form? As for Aribo, he was an unused sub for Southampton in a 3-0 loss to Manchester United in the early kickoff on Saturday. To be fair, he was about to come on before Jack Stevens' red card. So it looked like he would have gotten some minutes there. So I would expect him to start tomorrow in the EFL Cup. Southampton play Everton away, and we all know how Everton have been performing right now. So fingers crossed. And then in the league, Southampton play Ipswich at home on Saturday. They've lost all their games in the Prem so far, but when you're Southampton, you're playing fellow promoted team Ipswich at home, you have to say it's a great opportunity to finally get 3 points on the board. So fingers crossed we'll see Aribo play and get some points on the board. Ironically, the person who took his place in the starting lineup was Nigeria-eligible midfielder from Chelsea, Leslie Gochukwu. I thought he had a good game, especially in the first half. But, you know, it's a shame to see that he took that place from Joe Aribo. So we'll see how it goes in the next game when Southampton play over the weekend. Either way, I expect Aribo to get some minutes on Tuesday and potentially on Saturday. In terms of the other games not involving Nigerian players in the Premier League, we saw Manchester City beat Brentford 2-1. Erling Haaland continues to just behave like a cyborg. I mean, 2 goals. He hit the post as well. We could have got another hat-trick, as we predicted. But I must say, Brentford gave Man City a hell of a game. Brentford really, put them through the ringer. I mean, if not for, Erling Haaland's, clinical behavior in front of the goal, you could have seen Brentford get away with a draw here or even a win. So shout out to Wissa. Hopefully they've given my Arsenal the blueprint for next week. But I thought that was quite an interesting game. Also, we saw Brighton draw with Ipswich, as I mentioned earlier. Aston Villa and Everton played an absolute cracker. Aston Villa won 3-2. John Duran, if you have not seen John Duran's winning goal, please go and watch it. This guy has scored 3 goals from the bench in 4 games this season. And he's just scoring bangers. Honestly, John Duran, keep up the good work. Because, man, that's probably one of the contenders for goal of the season already. So look out for that one. And in the late kickoff on Saturday, Chelsea escaped Bournemouth with a 1-0 win. Bournemouth missed a penalty, which was quite unfortunate. But Chelsea took full advantage, and then Kuku scored in the last 5 minutes of the game. Very, very good finish as well, but it has to be said, the defending was shocking. If it was a better Premier League team, they would not be conceding goals like that. And then, as I said, obviously, Arsenal, we beat Tottenham in the North London derby. Gabriel Magalhaes, my superstar centre-back. I mean, I don't want to make it about Premier League and talking about Arsenal, but my team really make me happy these days, man. Watching Arsenal gives me joy. We're actually fucking good. We're one of the best in the business, man. Saliba and Gabriel, oh my God. Me and you, 5 and 6. What's that need to 6 on? 5 and 6. Just fantastic. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Harvey Barnes scored an absolute rocket for Newcastle to beat Wolves in the final game yesterday. So, what games do we have to look forward to in the Premier League over the next week? West Ham hosts Chelsea in the early kickoff on Saturday. That should be a tasty, tasty tie. We have about 6 3 p.m. kickoff games on Saturday. Aston Villa host Wolves. Fulham host Newcastle at Craven Cottage. Southampton host Ipswich Town, which we know Aribo will be involved in. Tottenham hosts Brentford at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Brentford beat them last season, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be a pressure cooker game for Tottenham. Leicester and Ndidi host Everton, so hopefully they can get 3 points on the board. And we'll see Liverpool host Bournemouth at Anfield in another 3 p.m. kickoff. In the 5:30 p.m. kickoff game, Crystal Palace host Man United at Selhurst Park. That should be quite a tasty game, to be fair. And then we have 2 games on Sunday. Brighton host Nottingham Forest, so we'll see Ola. Definitely start that game. Maybe Awoni will come off the bench. And then the big one, first versus second, Manchester City versus Arsenal at the Etihad. Be there or be squared. I don't even want to predict this game. Just watch the game. We'll see what happens. I'm just hoping my team doesn't lose, but it'll be nice if we win. So look out for that one. So, tail of the tape so far. Man City are top with maximum points from 4 games. Arsenal and Newcastle are joint second with 10 points from 12 points so far. But Arsenal, we have a superior goal difference with +5. We've only conceded 1 goal, but we've scored only 6. While Newcastle have scored 6, but conceded 3. And then Liverpool make up top 4 with 9 points. Liverpool are on 9 points. Aston Villa are on 9 points as well. And then No need to mention the rest, to be honest. Relegation zone, Southampton and Everton still have 0 points, and then we have Wolverhampton with 1 point. Although it must be said, if Wolverhampton can learn how to stop conceding stupid goals, they should be doing better than they've been performing so far. And I just wanted to call out Leicester, they're 15th, 2 draws, 2 losses. But when they play Ipswich on Saturday, it'll be a chance to get their first win of the Barclays season. I know it's not the Barclays, but it's still the Barclays in our mind. In the Championship, quickly, Ajayi played 90 minutes, and Josh Maja played 80 minutes and scored a goal in the first minute of this game. He's now the top goal scorer in the Championship with 5 goals. West Brom beat Portsmouth 3-0, so West Brom are currently top of the league, and hopefully we'll see them back in the Prem. Look, I've told you guys numerous times, I hate reporting on players in the Championship, so the more of them that do well and can go back to the Prem, the better for us. So far, so good for West Brom, and hopefully they continue that. Next up for them, they play Plymouth on Saturday, which is Mohamed Tijani's side that is managed by Wayne Rooney. Now, speaking of Mohamed Tijani, he was not in the squad over the weekend as Plymouth beat Sunderland 3-2 on Saturday. That was a huge result for Plymouth because Sunderland were top of the league and Plymouth have been gagging for a win. So even though Tijani did not play, well done to Plymouth, and let's see how they perform against West Brom away. But of course, we'll be wishing Ajayi and Josh Maja the best, so hopefully they win that game. Tom Dele-Bashiru's Watford are currently in 5th place in one of the playoff positions at the moment. He played 90 minutes and scored the equalizer for Watford, which was his first goal of the season in their 1-1 draw against Coventry. So long may it continue when they play Norwich away on Saturday, or that's going to be a tough game. Luton Town announced the signing of Super Eagles. I don't know if we could call him a legend, but great player for the Super Eagles, Victor Moses. I'm not a fan of players retiring from the Super Eagles when they're still relatively young. And to be honest, Victor Moses cannot complain if he's not remembered as well as he expects to be remembered. Because when you retire from the national team at 28, I don't care what you're telling me, you're not that dedicated to the national team. Even though you won AFCON and you went to the World Cup, and even assisted that iconic Musa goal, but bruh, don't retire when you're 28 from the national team. Ew. Anyway, he signed for Luton, so him and Elijah Adebayo are now Luton players. Adebayo started the game for Luton, but Moses was on the bench. He did not play any minutes as Luton beat Millwall 1-0 on Saturday. Moving on to Serie, Ballon d'Or nominee and favourite for the CAF African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman was back in business for Atalanta on Saturday. He played 90 minutes and got a goal and assist for Atalanta in their comeback win against Fiorentina where they won 3-2. Also, if you have not seen his goal and the assist, I urge you to go and watch it. His assist was incredible. If you see the Panenka he did over Fiorentina defender, he literally touched the ball, almost like Dennis Bergkamp did against Newcastle all those years ago. The ball just spun off the defender. He just told the defender, see you later. Ran through the ball, cut the ball onto his right foot and just put in an absolute sweet peach of a cross for Mario Retegui to head in. Retegui is the striker who's Argentinian but plays for Italy. That shows you how much Italy is starved of strikers. But what an absolute finish. And then when Lookman then scored his goal, he got the ball on the left as usual, cut into the box. They didn't block him as well as they should. He did a little shimmy and then put the ball into the bottom left corner. So Lookman, my superstar, and nobody's going to take that CAF African Footballer away from you, I'm telling you. So next up for Ademola Lookman, we're looking forward to seeing him in the Champions League. He'll be playing against my beloved Arsenal at home on Thursday, so I wish Lookman well, but, you know, I hope Arsenal win 3-1, but Lookman scores. That would be nice. So let's see how that one goes. And then on the weekend, on Monday, Lookman will be hosting Cesc Fabregas's Como. Remember, Cesc Fabregas is the coach of Como. That was another one of my heroes before he left Arsenal. But anyway, Lookman, please show Como some shege. Let them know that you are the big boys in Serie. So well done to Lookman, and long may his amazing performances continue. Maduka Okoye's Udinese. Udinese are officially top of Serie after 4 games played. He started today, made 2 saves. To be fair, it was not his best outing, I'm not going to lie. They did concede 2 goals, but they came from behind to win 3-2. Florian Thauvin, who remembers Thauvin from France, who won the World Cup in 2018? Thauvin is still balling out in Serie. Yes, he went to Mexico, he came back, but my God, that man's aging like fine wine. Thauvin scored a brace, and Udinese beat Parma 3-2 at home. They were even 2-0 down, so just absolutely sensational. So they're top of the league. Maduka Okoye, long may your prospering performances continue in Jesus' name. AC Milan move up to 9th. Samuel Chukwueze came off the bench to play 11 minutes when AC Milan were already 4-0 up against Venezia. Next up for AC Milan, they play Liverpool on... They play Liverpool tomorrow at 8 p.m. I know it's at San Siro, but let me not lie to you. I think Liverpool are going to beat the shit out of them. But anyway, I just want to see Chukwueze start one of these games. So either he starts against Liverpool tomorrow, and then is the Derby d'Italia, the Milan Derby, Inter versus Milan on Sunday, 7:45 p.m. Inter are officially the home team, but it'll be nice to see Chukwueze make a contribution because we know he's been trying, but like I've said in previous episodes, he just needs something to ignite for him, and then hopefully everything should go well after that. So look out for that with Chukwueze. As for Dele-Bashiru, he was on the bench earlier today for Lazio against Verona. He was on a new sub as the Roman side beat Verona 2-1. Buladia scored, the Senegalese striker. Antat Castellanos, he's been doing very well in Serie. Shame not to see Fisara get any minutes, but Lazio are 6th, and hopefully he will get some minutes when they play Fiorentina away on Sunday in the league. Moving on to the Bundesliga, Victor Boniface, man, you rock my world. I love how he just swatted the disappointment from not scoring for the Super Eagles away. He played 86 minutes and scored an absolutely sexy brace in this game, while also getting an assist for Bayer Leverkusen. Now, this is the Boniface that is unplayable. Like, honestly, he was fantastic. Then Tella also started at wing-back in place of Jeremy Frimpong, so he was never going to get that many attacking contributions. But nevertheless, very, very good performance from Leverkusen, and good to see them bounce back after their loss to Leipzig before the international break. They beat Hoffenheim 4-1, and next up for them, they play in the Champions League on Thursday away at Feyenoord before they host Wolfsburg at home on Sunday. Speaking of Kevin Akpoguma, I mean, his Hoffenheim team got thrashed 4-1 by Boniface and co. So it was not a good outing. He even got a yellow card in this game. So hopefully better days for Kevin Akpoguma when they play Union Berlin away on Saturday. And then Olberg's Frank Onyeka. Frank Onyeka made his debut for Olberg on Sunday in their 3-1 win over St. Pauli. If you have not seen this, I urge you to go check out my friends at Eagles Tracker. They have the clips of Frank Onyeka's performance on Twitter. Frank Onyeka got a delightful assist, and it's just nice to see him play football again. We know the player we saw at AFCON. We know what kind of player Frank Onyeka is. But see him like get that verve back, and in his first game, played so well. The assist was even incredible. Like from the right flank, just putting a sweet cross, not even a cross, but the ball, you know, like a looping in between ground and a high cross anyway. Went straight to the attacker. He just flashed into the net. So long may it continue for Frank Onyeka. We'll see him in action on Friday as Olberg hosts Mainz at home. They're currently 11th, so we would expect them to steer clear from the relegation zone, and hopefully Frank the Tank can continue with these amazing performances. In La Liga, we saw Chidera Ejuke play 67 minutes and start for Sevilla, while Iheanacho was on a new sub as Sevilla beat Crisantos Uche's Getafe 1-0 over the weekend. I think this match was even on Friday, because I feel like I remember this game. Like, I don't think it was on Saturday. I feel like it was on Friday. Oh no, it was Saturday. Ignore me. But anyway, Ejuke continues to play well. He just needs a goal or assist to come with how well he's playing. Iheanacho, the less we say, the better. He's not playing games for country. He's not playing games for club. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but to be honest with you, when he starts playing and remembers he's a footballer, we'll talk about Iheanacho. Anyway, next up for Seville, they played Deportivo Alaves away on Saturday. Now, speaking of Getafe, Crisantos Uche played the game against Seville. He played really well, you know, really unlucky to lose the game, but I'm hoping for more. I want to see him ignite like he did in his first game against Atletico Bilbao in La Liga. The good news is he doesn't have to wait that long. Getafe play Real Betis on Wednesday in La Liga, and then they play Leganes at home on Sunday. So good luck to you, Crisantos Uche. I'm rooting for you, and I want to see you in that Super Eagles squad. Finally, in La Liga, Omar Sadiq started for Real Sociedad in their 2-0 loss against Real Madrid. A bit unlucky because Real Madrid scored 2 penalties, but Sociedad can't really complain. I watched parts of these games, and you can see Sadiq's, like, how do I say this in a respectful way? When you think about absolute top quality strikers, you have Osimhen, Boniface, Lookman, whoever you are. There's a reason Sadiq is in that second tier. There was one chance he had on the break where he got the ball in Sociedad's half. And obviously, when you're on the counter-attack, if you play the pass before your fellow striker is in your opponent's half of the pitch, it's not offside. But Sadiq just dilly-dallied with one of his passes, and next thing you know, he played the through pass, it was already offside. And I was just thinking, Sadiq, like, no offense, but just be a bit smarter in terms of your football and your gameplay. I know you have the potential to be good at Sociedad, but at least the podcast would already saying, oh, my Sadiq's not that good. Sociedad have signed a striker, they expect to take his place. So, my bro, it's time to shine, please. It's time. I'm begging you, man. Sadiq, do something. So anyway, tomorrow he plays Real Mallorca away. So let's see if he starts and can get a goal. And then they play Real Valladolid away on Saturday. Moving on to the last of the top 5 leagues with Ligue 1. Gift Urban started after scoring 2 goals in the previous game for Lyon. He played 65 minutes as Lyon drew 0-0 against Lens on Sunday. Annoyingly and frustrating for him, he had 2 goals disallowed for offside, but encouraging to see him start. This is not a player that should be seeking a move anywhere. So I'm glad that all those rumours of going to Trabzonspor went away very, very quickly. Next up for Gift Urban, he plays Marseille at home on Sunday. Now that is a tasty tie. I mean, Lyon versus Marseille, those are like the 2 biggest traditional clubs in Ligue 1 facing off against each other. So that should be very, very exciting. So let's see if Gift Urban could get a goal in that game. Speaking of Lens, currently in 4th place. Remember, the managers will still, he used to be Reims manager. He's moved to Lens and he's doing really good things for them so far. They have a Nigeria DM called Hamzat Ojediran. He played 32 minutes off the bench in a 0-0 draw as well, but we'll continue to track him because we know Nigeria, we can really do with some midfielders as well. Next up for him, he plays Rennes away on Saturday. Now, moving on to Moses Simon. His Nantes team are actually doing really well in Ligue 1 so far this season. They're currently 5th. He played 90 minutes again over the weekend and got an assist in their 2-1 loss against Reims on Sunday. It's a bit of a shame that they lost because they should have been closer to the top of the table if they didn't lose the game. I mean, they literally would have been joint second. But so far, so good in terms of how they've started. And Moses Simon continues to play very well. At this point, you can even consider him a Nantes legend. Like, the way they talk about him and respect him there. You guys know my feeling. I'd rather a Nigerian player of that caliber is playing in a European side. But if you're not, it's better to build your legend in a club and make sure you're the absolute star player, which one of the things Simon is. At least he's one of the main star players. Speaking of Monaco are currently 3rd. I wanted to highlight the Nigerian striker, George Iheanacho. He's just 18 years old. He played 26 minutes in their 3-0 win over Auxerre. So obviously he's deputizing for Folarin Balogun, who plays for the USA, but obviously Folarin Balogun is a Nigerian name. Iheanacho, all the social media of Monaco, they refer to him as Nigerian striker. So NFF, please open your eye. This guy was born in Lagos, 18-year-old. He could have played for France. He's playing for Monaco when he's 18 years old, and he's going to be playing in the Champions League. Shine your eye, Go and follow him. So next up for Iheanacho, let's see if he gets any minutes as Monaco play Barcelona at home on Thursday in the revamped Champions League. And then Monaco play Le Havre at home on Sunday. Akko Adams, on the other hand, Montpellier continue to struggle. They lost 3-0 to Rennes on Sunday. Unfortunately for Akko Adams, he had a goal disallowed, but it's not looking good for Montpellier, man. Right now, they're in the relegation zone. And next up for them, they play Auxerre at home on Sunday. You'd hope they'll win this game, but Auxerre at the moment are 15th in the league, so they're doing slightly better. Osho started this game, although they got packed 3-0 by Monaco, so no surprise there. But let's see if Osho and Auxerre could have a better performance when they play Montpellier away on Sunday. And then for Nice, Victor Orakpo was on the bench for their 2-0 loss to Marseille and did not get any minutes. Remember, Terry Murphy is still injured with an ACL, so he's unlikely to play this season for Nice. But let's see if Orakpo gets some minutes when they play Saint-Etienne at home on Friday. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues for this week. So moving on to the rest of the leagues outside of the top 5 in Europe, starting with the Premier Liga as usual. Earlier today, we saw Onyemachi start and score the opening goal for Boavista in their 2-2 draw against Estrella de Amadora away tonight. I mean, annoying ended 2-2. They're still 13th. But Onyemachi is one to monitor as he's clearly better than Boavista, to be honest. But he gets a chance to impress. I remember a few years ago when I started the podcast, and I used to talk about Zedu Sanusi playing for, was it Casapia? I think it was at Casapia. All of a sudden, he played a very good game against FC Porto. And guess what? FC Porto signed him, and Sanusi played for FC Porto for 4 years. So, Onyemachi has a chance on Monday where he'll be hosting Benfica at home on Monday. So, I like to think if you're a super ego, you know you're better than Boavista. And we know how well Onyemachi played over these international window in the games we played. So hopefully he can at least show Benfica Wagwan, because I'm sorry, I don't like our players not playing in top 5 leagues. Call me arrogant or being a snob, but they're the top 5 leagues for a reason. There's a reason why we have coefficients, and ideally we want as many of our players playing in the top 5 leagues. But if it's one of the big clubs in Portugal, we're not complaining, because we know the Portos of the world and Benficas will play in the Champions League. So one to monitor anyway. Moving on to Belgium, another representative will be seen in the Champions League. Onyedika played 31 minutes off the bench for Club Brugge. They beat Kortrijk 3-1 on Saturday. He was probably being rested for the Champions League, because on Wednesday, Club Brugge host Borussia Dortmund at home in the Champions League, and then they play Ghent at home on Sunday. I'm not sure if that's at home or away. That's at home. That's at home. So look out for Onyedika, and I'm sure we also Onyedika did for Nigeria and in general. We have a budding superstar on our hands, man. I just hope we harness him the right way. So Club Brugge are top of the league in Belgium. To be fair, we always have good players playing in the best clubs in Belgium. So second place, Genk. We've got Tolora Kodare, who played 71 minutes and scored a goal over the weekend. And then we have Girasor. Girasor played 88 minutes, scored a goal and got 2 assists in their 3-2 win over Cercle Brugge. Shout out to the 2 Super Eagles. I mean, none of them are Super Eagles internationals yet. But shout out to the 2 Nigerian players for Genk. They're doing well. And I believe Genk are in action in... Is it the Europa League? Anyway, I'll let you know. But they're in action against Anderlecht tomorrow away on Tuesday. And then they play FCV Dender, one of the promoted sides, at home on Sunday. For Royal Antwerp, Victor Udo played 9 minutes in their 2-0 win over Union Saint-Gilloise. That's a big win for Royal Antwerp. Union Saint-Gilloise were top of the league before. And Royal Antwerp have struggled this season. So shout out to them for getting that result. Next up for them, they play Westerlo away on Saturday. And then against Jordan Torunariga, he came off the bench to play 11 minutes in Ghent's 2-0 win over KV Mechelen. To be honest, Torunariga, this is a good example of... I don't know. He's not good enough to play for the Super Eagles. He's not good enough to play for Germany. He was doing Shakara for Super Eagles for a minute. And now he's just caught in between a rock and a hard place. But anyway, keep performing and see if you can get yourself playing for a better team. Next time, don't do Shakara for Super Eagles, because now you have 1 cap and has he even got 1 cap? Did we even play him? I'm not even sure we capped him in that 1 game we were supposed to play. Let me just check. And I know his father played for Nigeria. But when you're doing Shakara, us two will do Shakara for you. So he played 1 game for us. He announced his allegiance change last year, June 2023. When he was already 26 years old. This boy is not serious. To be honest, I wish him well, but all these players that change nationality at 26, 25. Your father played for Nigeria. What were you waiting for? You want to be... Anyway, let me not be salty, Sha. But good luck to him. But it's not looking like he'll get a Super Eagles call-up anytime soon. I mean, you have Akpoguma playing regularly in the Bundesliga who can't get a call-up. So it's not Torunariga that will be called up at the moment. But anyway, he plays Club Brugge away on Sunday. So let's see how he performs. Wait, that cannot be correct. If Genk are playing FCV Dender. Sorry about that. Guys, Gent's next game is actually against Club Brugge. So why do I have wrong information for Club Brugge? So forgive me, guys. Club Brugge are actually playing Ghent over the weekend. I don't know where that KV promoted side came from, but they're not playing them. They play Ghent on Sunday. Apologies for that mishap. In the Turkish League, Nigeria superstar and best player. I mean, he was ranked 87 on AFCON. I mean, in FIFA. Victor Osimhen finally started for Galatasaray, made his debut in their 5-0 win over Rizespor on Saturday. This was a very routine, easy win for Galatasaray. It's really nice to see Victor Osimhen feel the love. I mean, the goal he scored, yes, it was an assist, but initially we thought it was a goal. It's one of those ones where a free kick was whipped into the box. Osimhen thought he got his head to it, which he did. But then one of his teammates literally tapped it into the goal. But it was a very slight touch that at one point Osimhen thought he had scored the goal. After the game, though, it was nice to see him celebrate with Galatasaray fans and just feel the love. Look, I don't care how much money you make as a footballer. I know what the famous Igalo clip said, but every footballer wants to play football. You initially started playing the game for love. So there's nothing that can compare to the feeling of when you can actually be on the pitch and play well, especially for a star striker like Osimhen. One thing to note, Galatasaray have a game tomorrow against Gaziantep. It's a rearranged league game, but Osimhen is not going to play in this game because him and Ismail Jacobs, the Senegalese fullback, were both not Galatasaray players when the initial game was supposed to be played. So they're not allowed to play tomorrow. So next up for them, we'll see them in action in the big one. And when I say big one, I mean big one. Because on Saturday night, Fenerbahce are hosting Galatasaray at home. Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce against Galatasaray. In case people have forgotten, last season, these two teams destroyed the Turkish league. I mean, like, destroyed. When I tell you that Galatasaray ended with 102 points, Fenerbahce ended up with 99 points. Out of Galatasaray's 38 games, they won 33. Out of Fenerbahce's 38 games, they won 31. These two teams wiped the floor with the league. So their head-to-head games matter even more. So this is already going to be the biggest game of Osimhen's Galatasaray career. And let's see if he could be the difference maker against Mourinho's Fenerbahce on Saturday. So that should be a very, very tasty game. And speaking of Fenerbahce, Super Eagles fullback Bright Osai Samo was not in the squad for their 2-0 win over Kasimpasa on Sunday. We know he did not play for the Nigerian national team because he was injured. So, but we've heard he could be back by the end of the month. So it's very unlikely we'll play this game against Galatasaray. But of course, if he recovers fast enough, we will let you know. But that's a big, big game. Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray on Saturday. Be there. As for Anthony Nwakaeme, he was not in the squad for Trabzonspor's 1-1 draw against Besiktas on Sunday. He's also injured. So one to monitor for Trabzonspor. Next up for them, they will be playing Kayserispor on Thursday in the league, and then they'll go away to Gaziantep on Monday in the league as well. So look out for that game with Nwakaeme. Next up, we've seen Kenneth Omero. He was not in the squad for Kasimpasa's 2-0 loss against Fenerbahce on Sunday. It's interesting because Kenneth Omero found time to take a picture with Jose Mourinho, even though he was not in the squad. I mean, fair enough, it is Mourinho, but it's like, have some shame, you know. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's see if America forces me back into the squad for the game against Antalyaspor at home on Sunday. As for Derek Okereke, he played 90 minutes for Gaziantep in a 3-2 loss against Sivasspor on Saturday. Let's see if he plays in the game against Galatasaray away tomorrow. But if I'm not mistaken, he also was not signed as at the time when this game was originally supposed to be played. So he may not play. But then next up for them, they play Trabzonspor at home on Monday. So look out for that one. In Scotland, Cyril Desert started again and got an assist for Rangers in their 1-0 win over Dundee United on Sunday. Leon Balogun was a new sub on the bench. I mean, it's not looking great when you're Rangers and you're third in a very, very poor league, which means that they're currently below Aberdeen in second place. Anyway, they played Dundee FC at home in the League Cup on Saturday, so hopefully they'll be able to get the win. Also, there was a great feature BBC did about the word Dundee United. You know, Nigerians, we always say Dundee United. People in Dundee in Scotland did not actually know what their club's name was being used for in Nigeria when you say Dundee. Moving on to the Serbian League, and another Nigerian that we're going to see playing in the Champions League. Peter Alainka started for Red Star Belgrade in a 2-0 win over Napredak. Their Champions League campaign kicks off tomorrow. They will be playing Benfica at home. Not tomorrow, sorry, on Thursday. And then they play Partizan Belgrade away on Monday in the big derby in Serbia. In Czech Republic, Igor Ugbo's Slavia Prague did not play any game. They play Mlada Boleslav away on Tuesday tomorrow. And then they play Victoria Pilsen in the league on Saturday. And then Sparta Prague's Victor Olatunji, another one of the Nigerian representatives in the Champions League, will be playing against Salzburg at home in the Champions League this Wednesday before his team Sparta Prague play SK Dynamo SK on Sunday. And then finally, in terms of the leagues, PSL South Africa, Olisanda's Orlando Pirates won their first leg in the CAF Champions League qualification, first leg against Jwaneng Galaxy 2-0. Next up for them, they played Steinour Bali's Chippa United on Wednesday. and then they play the return leg in the Champions League qualifier at home on Saturday. So as long as they don't lose, they will qualify for the Champions League group stage, which is really good to see for Lysander. And then starting normally, we'll see him in action against Orlando Pirates away on Wednesday, and then they play Richards Bay at home on Saturday. One player I wanted to highlight who plays in the Slovakian league simply because they made it to the Champions League is Elvis Isaac. He's Nigerian left winger, 22 years old. He plays for Slovan Bratislava, which is the best team in Slovakia. They somehow qualified for the Champions League against the odds. So he'll be in Champions League. One thing to note, he's featured mainly for their second team, so I may not talk about him that often. But if he does play in the Champions League, we'll be sure to make sure we mention it. So that just gives you an idea of all the Nigerian players playing in Champions League this season. In total, we have 9 Nigerian players in the Champions League. To start, we have Adebayo, of course, Ballon d'Or nominee. Victor Boniface, Nathan Tella, George Iheanacho at AS Monaco. Onyedika at Club Brugge, Samuel Chukwueze at AC Milan, of course. Victor Olatunji at Sparta Prague, Peter Olayinka at Red Star Belgrade, and of course Elvis Isaac at Slovan Bratislava. If we're being honest, the teams we expect to do wellish would be the ones from the big leagues. So let's see how Lookman's Atalanta perform. Let's see how Boniface and Tella fare for Leverkusen in their Champions League debuts for both of them respectively. Let's see how Iheanacho now performs for Monaco. And then also a big one for me is I want to see how Chukwueze performs in the Champions League this season. And of course, Onyedika for Club Brugge, although I expect Club Brugge to take a few batterings. But the way the format of new Champions League is, if you could win your games against Port 4 teams or Port 3 teams, you just never know. So fingers crossed, and let's see how everything shakes up in the round robin league. Starboy of the week. I mean, my God, we had so many Nigerian players get a goal or assist or perform well. I literally counted a total of 13 players who had either a goal or an assist. That's not even mentioning like our fullbacks or our defenders who played well, like Aina, like I mentioned. I mean, it was literally raining goals and assists from Nigerian players. But there has to be a winner and a loser. So, podium finish as usual. In bronze, I'll have to share it between Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi got 2 assists in the Premier League for Leicester City in their 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace. It was also an away game, so you have to give kudos. Ndidi continues to show that he can be a very, very good presence attacking-wise for Leicester, and long may it continue. Also, Irasor, it's not every day you get 3 goal contributions in a game. 1 goal and 2 assists for Genk in their game, which Tolura Kodari also scored a goal when they beat Cercle Bruges on Saturday. So shout out to Irasor. We've always known there's a player there, but it's nice to see him looking like he can fulfill his potential. Silver medal, I have to give it to future CAF African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman Adebobo. I mean, fresh off scoring bangers for the Super Eagles in the international window and just being like our best player, to be honest, across both games. He then started his first Serie A game of the season after a bit of the transfer debacles for Lookman and Atalanta. And what does he do? He gets a goal and an assist. And not just a goal and an assist, brilliant plays. Like, the goal was amazing, the assist was even better. So Ademola Lookman, man, you continue to rock my world, man. You get the silver medal this week. Gold has to go to the one and only star boy, also Victor Boniface, one of the real hopes of the Nigerian national team and star players in Europe. I reckon if he continues to have a really excellent season this year, we're talking like real like top clubs coming for him next summer or the year after. And one thing I love about Boniface is he's also very good at playmaking. You could see his passes. He got 10 assists last season in the Bundesliga, and you can already tell that he could do even better this year. So for him to get 2 goals and an assist, and then the way he got the goals, like the first one, broke through the lines, the way he just caught the defender, smashed the ball into the net. The second one I even liked better because it looks like the defender should be able to make a tackle, but there's a way he just turns onto his left foot and just bangs the ball so hard that you might even think the goalkeeper should be saving it. But before the goalkeeper can wake up, the ball's already gone. So Victor Boniface, you're the star boy of the week, man. And I'm looking forward to your Champions League debut for Leverkusen this week. And long may your success continue. Keep flourishing. And that maiden Super Eagles goal is coming very, very soon. To round up the podcast with the ones to watch for this week, As you know, we've got Europe this week, so it's a lot of Champions League heavy fixtures. Tomorrow, Chukwueze's AC Milan are in action in San Siro against Liverpool. Look out for that one, and let's see if Chukwueze can make a telling contribution. Galatasaray play Gaziantep, but we know Osimhen's not going to play, so let's see if David Okoye could at least dent some of Galatasaray's hopes in that game. On Wednesday, in the Champions League, we'll see Onyedika's Club Brugge play against Borussia Dortmund at home, and then we'll see Victor Lachinji's Sparta Prague host Red Bull Salzburg at home. For those who support Liverpool, remember, Salzburg is now coached by Pep Linders, the former assistant manager under Jurgen Klopp. So that should be quite an interesting one for you guys. And then we'll see Orlando Pirates play Chippa United. So Lisanda versus Stanley Nwabali on Wednesday. On Thursday, we see Ademola Lookman's Atalanta host my Arsenal in the Champions League. Looking forward to this game. And then we'll also see Victor Boniface and Nathan Tella in action for Leverkusen against Feyenoord in the Champions League. George Ilenikena's Monaco in action against Barcelona in the Champions League 2. So look out for that one. And we'll also see Peter Alainka's Red Star Belgrade host Benfica. Over the weekend, in the Prem, we will see Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey's Fulham host Newcastle. Let's see if Fulham could continue their good form. We know they drew their last game, but they look very, very good, especially at home. So luck may continue. And then one of the big ones, Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. Fenerbahce will be at home, so let's see if Bartosz Aisama will be fit to take on Victor Osimhen and Galatasaray in what's already pretty much a title decider. It's like Arsenal Man City on Sunday. These games matter so much because those two teams are so much better than the rest in the league. And then on Sunday, we have a blockbuster of Nigerian games. Aina and Taraoni's Nottingham Forest play Brighton at home. Let's see if they can continue their really good start to the season. Maduka Ake's Udinese, top of the league. Let's see if they continue their winning form as they host AS Roma at home. Roma have not started the season well either, so fingers crossed Maduka and Co can do the business there. Giftaben's Lyon host Marseille. Let's see if he can start to keep up the good form that he's finally shown in recent games. And then we'll see Akko Adams Montpellier host Gabriel Osho's Auxerre. And then finally, Club Brugge Rafael Ndidi will be playing against Jordan Torunariga's Ghent. In Nigerian news for you to be aware of, Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum has resigned. He cited his wife's health, so he wished his wife a speedy recovery. And thank you, Randy Waldrum, for all you did for the Super Falcons, especially when it comes to the World Cup performance last year. To see Nigeria not concede, I don't think we conceded. We conceded maybe one goal in the World Cup last year. You know, we won. We beat, was it Canada? We drew against Canada. We beat the host Australia. We ended up with 5 points from our groups, and we're very unlucky to lose on penalties to England in the World Cup round of 16. So, I mean, I've never seen the Super Falcons do that well, at least since I've been watching them. So that was really, really good. Yes, they really suffered in the Olympics earlier this year, but NFF, like, don't even get me started on NFF. Useless. Anyway, NPFL news. Enugu Rangers beat Sagrada Esperança 1-0. Kazim Ogunleye scored in the 78th minute. Really, really big goal for Enugu Rangers. The second leg we played against in Angola on Sunday. Enugu Rangers could become the first Nigerian team to qualify for the CAF Champions League in at least 6 seasons. Since the 18-19 season. So that's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Otikpe. Alright, so fingers crossed for Enugu Rangers. I'm going to be rooting for you guys, man, and hopefully they can bring it home. So fingers crossed, and everybody please keep Enugu Rangers in your prayers because they're on the verge of literal history. The Nigerian under-20 women's team finally bowed out of the under-20 World Cup in the round of 16 phase. They lost 2-1 to Japan. To be fair, there can be no qualms about this. They got outplayed, outclassed, and just... Japan, man, shout out to you, man. What a footballing country, especially on the women's side. You know, they've won the World Cup already. And they just have these technicians, like ballers. So hopefully the team will learn, dust themselves up, and come back better. But we saw a few good performances from the under-20 team. So long may it continue. And then I just wanted to touch on the NPFL for those who like to know about what's happened in Nigeria. It was the second round of games in the NPFL this past weekend. We saw wins for Rivers United 3-1 over Heartland. Remo Stars beat Sunshine Stars 1-0. So Remo Stars are currently top of the league with 2 wins from 2. Aqua United and Abia Warriors drew 1-1. Bassey United and Kano Pillars drew 1-1. Katsina United beat Bendel Insurance 2-1. Niger Tornadoes and Nasarawa United drew 0-0. Shooting Stars and Plateau United drew 1-1. And then, of course, PR Merchant Ahmed Musa now put a post saying, which NPFL club should I sign for? I mean, Musa, stop whining me, man. You're 32 years old and no club in Europe or Asia wants you. Stop acting like you have offers like that. But what I like about Musa's PR, because he used to be the former captain, he then makes it seem like he's doing the Nigerian Premier League a favor. Like, get out of here, man. 3 years ago, this guy was playing for Pillars for 8 games. Like, he's literally not wanted in any serious club or serious league anymore. Like, yes, we respect him for what he did to Nigeria for the Nigerian national team, but let's be honest, his last 20 caps were slave caps. And for him to not be able to get a club better than Fatih Karagümrük or Sivasspor in the last 3 years. Mind you, Musa did not score a single goal for Sivasspor in 19 games. He scored 2 goals for Fatih Karagümrük in 34 games in the 21-22 season. And he didn't score any goals for Kano Pillars. And he scored 9 goals in 50 games for Al Nassr. My whole point is if we're judging Musa based on football, it's clear that he's been long past his best. And I don't want to contemplate anything about his age. But at 31, you should not be unable to get a club in Europe or Asia, especially if we keep claiming that you've made the most appearances for the Super Eagles. You know, we give you respect from 2018, but my God, his club career has been so underwhelming. Like literally since he left CSK Moscow in 2016, 8 years ago, this is before he even scored that goal, those goals for Nigeria in the World Cup. Let's just say, man, Musa's club career is nothing to write home about. So I wish him all the best anyway. Let's see which NPFL team he signs for, since he's the one that is telling the clubs who he should sign for. But please, guys, stop putting this guy on a pedestal. We respect him for what he did for the national team, but he has not had a club since September 2020. Like literally since last year. So I'm tired of this stuff about like, oh my God, literally February, they parted ways with Musa while the season was still going on. So, Musa, respect us and we'll respect you. Don't treat the NPFL like it's some joke saying who should I sign for, because you know you come here and everybody will bow down to you and say I respect the legend. When we look at how you've performed, literally, like your club career has been nothing to rhyme about, literally, since 2016. Yes, we could give you one good season for Al Nassr in 2019 in the Saudi Pro League. And this is even before the Ronaldo and Co's came. So please, we just want to judge you as a footballer, you know. If he's going to ever play for the Nigerian national team, he has to play very well for his NPFL team. But you and I all know that he does not deserve a place in the Nigerian national team anyway. But I just wanted to call this one out to see where Musa ends up over the next few weeks. So let's see. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. It's been a pleasure to talk football as usual. Please remember to follow us on all our social media channels. We're Nigeria Football Weekly everywhere. I really want to shout out the YouTube tribe, man. You've been running it up for me, man. We've gotten about our 3 most viewed videos have come in the last month. So please, thanks for all the support. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the football. And until next time, I've been your host, Okoye. Take care, peace out, and see you next week. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeria, they ever carry last.